Okay, we're back in our 60 Bel Air now. I've already taken the time to install the left-hand pod and the right-hand pod that you saw us assembling a little bit earlier. What I've got right here is we've got our speedometer cluster and we've got our harness all set up on the back. I have had the opportunity to make the extension for the tack, which when we talked the other day, that was not done. We also have our tack wire right here, which I've taken and left real long. We've made the connection for that and routed it up under the dash. If you recall, we talked about the electronic speedometer, and if you don't have it, you're going to want to cap it because these wires and terminals, I should say, are bare right here. I've taken the time to clip the connections out of the harness here from the cluster for the electronic speedometer. I'm going to go ahead and put this on here just so that's capped so nothing can short. And we're just going to tuck this back in the dash here. It's not needed in this particular application since this is a car with a mechanical speedometer. So we're just going to push this back under here. Alright, now what we're going to do, we've got our harness here. We're going to take our cluster and we're going to install this in the car. This can get a little bit tricky. Bear with it and you'll get it. You're just going to take your connection here from your dash harness. We're just going to snap this together with our... Okay, that's all done. We're going to put our tack feed down the one side, and we're just going to push this back inside the dash. Okay, now we're in place. Be careful that when you do that you don't pinch any wires going back in there. Now we're just going to run our two screws in here. We're going to get up underneath the dash and put our nut on there, and our installation of our speedometer cluster is done. Now keep in mind you also have to put your speedometer cable back on there after that's in the car. Okay, we've finished our dash installation. We've got our speedometer in, all bolted in. Everything's hooked up. We've hooked our underdash courtesy lights up. Now, when you do your underdash courtesies, you have to double off your rear body harness, which we've started to install right here. You've got to clip this and make your connection right off the main connector, which you can see here. And then what we've done is we've routed this just like the original was. We've routed it down the A-pillar here, down into the floor, and then we've come right through the rocker here. Back to back, up around the seat, and back into the trunk. Let's go back there and I'll show you what we're doing back there to install the rear body harness. If you recall, we ran the wire along the rocker sill, up past the rear board, up into the seat, across the back. We've come up underneath here, we've routed this just like the original. You can see it right here. There's a little wire trough right here along the side with some clips on it. We've taken our old harness out, snapped the new harness into the clip, and we've got everything we need right here in the corner. Now the next thing we're going to do, which we haven't done yet because we wanted to show you what had to be done, the rear body harness here has to come out. You'll notice it's in a couple pieces. Just going to unsnap that out of your taillight sockets here. We're just going to remove that completely. A little easier just to cut it and pull it out and discard it just to get it out of your way. Again, across the back of the car, you're going to find several pinch well clips, or we can just take this right out of the car. On your 60 cars, you got to remove the license plate tag light, which screws up from underneath here, because you'll have to unclip that socket out of the lamp assembly, and we're going to put a new one in. We'll show you that too. Alright, so what we've got is we've got our harness routed back here to this corner. Alright, you get these real cool extensions where everything is all set up and done, all doubled up, ready to go, connector's already on it. Now, on an original car, just the outboard lights were turn and stop. Okay? For our application, for safety purposes, we're making both the inboard and the outboard tail and stop. All your 59 cars and your 60 Impala, the inboard and outboard lights, and then on your 59 with the teardrop light, all the bulbs in those were fully functional as far as being stop, turn, and running lights. Okay, in this particular instance, we're going to use these. We finished our connection back up over here, and we've snapped it into the clips along the back here. You see our finished connection. Okay, now we're over here to where we've got to make our tag light connection. We're going to pull the brown wire out of there again, out of the conduit here, out of the loom. We're just going to make a little cut. And again, we're going to strip it about 3/16 of an inch. We get one of our double terminals here, which is the brass ones. And we have our tag light extension right here, which you can see. And we've already got our light bulb in that, and these are all made up before you're ready to go. You don't have to do anything with it. This is all completed. We're going to take our connector here, our single that plugs into the male. We're going to snap that in. And then we're going to be ready to go. Alright, we're going to route this back in the tubing. What I like to do, we have this real good cloth tape here, and everywhere where we're coming out of the harness, I just like to put a wrap around there just to keep it together. Alright, now we're going to have to run up underneath here and then back out the other side so we can go over here to our right side. Alright, we're going to take our tag light and we're going to snap it in, snap our extension into that. We're going to feed this up into the car from the outside. We'll have to put our screws back in to hold this back in. We'll just throw one in here just so we have it held in place for us. Now you can see these two connections right here. We're just going to take these, we're going to snap them together. You can hear the click. We're all done. And we're just going to take this and we're going to route this right up over top of the trunk hinge area, pull it out the other side, and then we'll go on to our right side. Alright, we've routed this over to our area over here, and we've made our license plate light connection right here. This car does not have backup lights, but if it did have backup lights in a Bel Air, they'd go down through this roll pan right here, and we give you these extensions. In case this customer wants to do this in the future, we're going to go ahead and make that connection. We're going to bring our connection right out, right here, same place as our tag light. And again, it uses the same type of connection that our tag light does, that single small female. We're going to double our connection up here, double our wires. We're going to plug our connector on there. Now again, this car doesn't have backups right now. However, just in case the customer ever wants to do this, he'll have the capability of doing it. We've got this tape here that we're going to utilize. Anywhere where we break the harness out of this split tubing, we like to put some of this cloth tape on there just to keep it from pulling out. Just put it on either side of the breakout here. And then what we're going to end up doing is we'll take this and we'll tuck it up underneath here, and we'll just hang this up here in the gutter. It'll just be up here out of the way. If the customer ever needs it, then he can just make his connection by running a hole through the splash pan here, or trunk apron, down into the splash pan, and put these in his car.